vibe, it made him feel at peace. Ethan wasn't the kind of guy who wanted attention, and he didn't need a million followers or crazy fame. All he needed was to be comfortable in his own skin, doing something he loved. But that all started to change the moment Clara walked into his life. Clara had always been different. She wasn't the type of girl who sought validation on social media. She didn't need to flex designer clothes or show off to get attention. But she had this undeniable aura that drew people in. Ethan had always noticed it, the way she carried herself like she already knew she was the baddest in the room, even though she never had to say it out loud. She was perfect to him. She had this effortlessly cool vibe, like a Pinterest board brought to life. Every time she smiled, it was like everything around him stopped. Every time she looked at him with those big brown eyes, Ethan felt like the luckiest guy alive. So when they started hanging out more and more, he thought maybe, just maybe, this was it. They had their moments, lazy afternoons at the park, late-night chats at his bookstore, exchanging inside jokes. Ethan was falling for her, and he thought she might have been falling for him too. But then everything flipped one day. It was a Wednesday night, and Ethan was doing his usual shift at the store when Clara walked in. He smiled, thinking she was here for their regular catch-up. But today, something felt different. Her usual carefree vibe had been replaced by something colder. Something distant. "Hey," she greeted him softly, setting her bag down by the counter. "Hey, Clara," he said, a little confused by her tone. "What's up?" She hesitated for a moment, biting her lip before letting out a deep breath. "We need to talk." Ethan's stomach dropped. His pulse raced. "Talk about what?" Clara was silent for a moment. Then she looked at him, and there was an unreadable expression on her face. "I've met someone else," she said quietly. Ethan blinked, almost not believing what he was hearing. "Someone else?" he repeated, trying to process the words. His brain wasn't working. Was this some kind of joke? Did she mean someone else as in, like, a friend? A new guy she met at work? But no, it wasn't a joke. She wasn't smiling. Her eyes weren't playful. She was serious. "Yeah," she continued, looking at him almost apologetically. "His name's Julian. He's successful, Ethan. He's everything I've ever wanted." She looked away. "I'm sorry, but I need someone who can offer me more than this." Ethan felt like the ground had been ripped out from under him. He just stared at her, his mind racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. "More than this?" he repeated. He gestured around the bookstore. "You're telling me that this—" He motioned to the quiet bookstore he had built up with his own hands. "Isn't enough for you?" Clara winced. "I don't mean it like that. It's just— I don't know. Julian can give me the kind of life I've always dreamed of. You know, the fancy dinners, the trips, the lifestyle I've always wanted." Ethan swallowed hard, trying to keep his composure. His heart was breaking, but he wasn't about to show it. "I get it," he said, his voice soft. "You want more than I can give." She nodded, her voice tinged with regret. "You're a great guy, Ethan. You really are, but I need more than this right now." There was a long pause. Ethan didn't know what to say. What could he say? She had made her decision. She wanted someone with more flash, more Instagrammable moments, more of everything. Ethan, on the other hand, was just a guy trying to make a living off books, and that wasn't enough for her. "Okay," he finally said. "I get it." Clara bit her lip. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I really am." But before he could say anything else, she turned and walked out of the store, leaving him standing there in complete silence. Ethan stood still, staring at the door for what felt like an eternity. What had just happened? He thought they were good. He thought they had something special. But apparently, he was wrong. Over the next few weeks, Clara's life seemed to be in full-blown glow-up mode. She posted endless photos on Instagram, showing off her new boyfriend, Julian. Expensive dinners, luxurious trips to the Maldives, photos of Julian in his sleek black car. Every post screamed, "Living the dream." Ethan couldn't escape it. He saw it everywhere. His feed was flooded with Clara and Julian, each picture more obnoxious than the last. It stung, every single time. And yet, Ethan kept pushing through. He kept working at his bookstore, doing his thing, but